And I even know that you were in California before, and from California
Right.
you moved to Texas. So how was that move? What would you recommend someone? What did you learn from making that move, from going from California to Texas? Because it's kind of similar, right? New York City is somewhat similar to California,
Right.
depending on where.
Yeah. So, I mean, the weather, it's a little bit more humid. And it's kind of a joke out here. In the morning, you could be dressed in pants and a jacket, and then by the afternoon, you're in shorts and chanclas. Right? The weather does kind of change like that, but that's also cool and good because you can do a lot more outdoor activities. It doesn't snow. It has snowed a couple times. My wife is from Brownsville, Texas, which is right on the border of Mexico. So she moved up to San Antonio for college, and I moved out here to start a family and continue our businesses out here as well.
Awesome. And so now that we kind of went into, okay, if you want to move there, right? I know that I have a lot of clients that decided to move to Texas because they're nurses. So there's a lot more job opportunities, sounds like, over there in Texas than it is here in New York. What's going on there in terms of job opportunities?
So it's growing because the companies are leaving California and New York, and they're coming to Texas. So there's tons of jobs, no matter kind of what you're into and what your field is. And again, Texas is so large, you're going to be able to find a job in the state. Because even if you're moving from New York to Texas, and the most expensive part of Texas is not the same as the most expensive part of New York, right? So you're going to get more bang for your buck when you come out to Texas. Also, there's no state tax like that. Man, when it comes time for your tax returns, you got the state and the federal, just the federal.
Nice. So you're saving a
Yeah.
lot of money and probably still making somewhat the same income that you will probably make here in New York, it sounds like too. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's the plan. Because my wife and I debated, like, hey, should she move out to California? Should I move out to Texas? And it's like, look, the numbers make sense for Texas. Like the house that we have now and enough room for our two kids, my mother-in-law and us. In California, we both have two jobs.
Wow. Sounds similar to New York here. So now let's talk about investment. Let's say that, hey, you know what? I might want to move to Texas, but I'm not planning to move to Texas, this year or 2 years because, hey, I have a job. I'm going to retire. Once I retire, I'm going to get this pension. Then I'm going to go ahead and move to Texas. So tell me a little bit about investment opportunities out there too. What's out there in terms of investment? Because like I mentioned earlier, they came out this article that mentioned that Texas right now, we thought New York, we thought California, we thought Florida was going to be the one that charges the most rent and that the rent prices went up, but it was actually Texas. So it sounds
Right.
to me that's a great investment as well.
Exactly. So again, San Antonio, because the home value have the home values have gone up 14% year on year in San Antonio. We also have four military bases out here. So
That's
that's a whole bunch of tenants that you could have that have guaranteed income. If they're messing up, somebody can contact the CO, right? So the fact that we call San Antonio a military city is a great benefit if you're going to have investment property with a long-term tenant. So essentially what that tenant is doing is helping you pay off the mortgage on your retirement home.